human express or very, very alive, basic human nature. Logically, we are social animal. So individuals' happy life or successful life entirely depend on the rest of the community. So the rest of the community is source of our future, source of one individual's success or happiness. So we have to take, like farmer, take farmland, more, maximum care. Not love the soil, but that is their future. Their income, money come from that soil. So similarly, individual happy life depend on other. So the others are basis or source of our fortune. So it's taking care of them. It's a more natural way. Right? I think artificial thinking, I'm independent. I never depend on them. They exploit, cheating, lie, bully. In reality, long run, you are cutting or destroying basis of your own future. So humanism, basic human nature is more gentleness. Gentleness not come from dullness. Right? Gentleness come from full alerted mind, sharp mind, but more balanced with warm-heartedness. Then real human gentleness comes. So these not come from God or not come from sky or above, but come from within. So that's humanism. Right? I think some sort of, because of that, some way to look, that's it. Humanism. We are social animal. It's bound to happen. Different views, different sort of interest. But still, these different people who have different sort of idea, different sort of interest, they are part of the humanity, part of the society. So there's no reason to killing each other, to bully each other. Even there is some differences, we have to talk. So that's the principle of non-violence. Non-violence does not mean bow down, right? Bowing, right? Non-violence, you should consider non-violence is signs of strength. Violence is a sign of desperate weakness. So this very rich human thinking, the concept of ahimsa developed. Not only remain idea, but 1,000 years into practice. So non-violence is very, very relevant to his work. And especially in ancient time, okay, people, different continent, different country, they remain more or less self-sufficient. So not much contact with outside. So according to their circumstances, the very concept of war destroy the other group which have different interests or different sort of views. Then destruction of your enemy is victory of yourself. Now today's reality is every nation, every continent very much mixed each other, heavily interdependent. Europe needs Western technology, Western country need Arab oil. Like that, everything interdependent. So according to that reality, concept of war is outdated. Yet, different sort of interest, contradictory interest, always there because of human vision, human desire. Then we must find effective, practical method to solve these things. That's dialogue with non-violent principle. So that's very much relevant to today's world.
The values of A, B, C, D, E, and F by asserting our 6 renormalization conditions. And then we determine A, B, C, D, E, and F self-consistently as a power series in the physical coupling constant, and we have achieved our desired end. We have turned a stupid, although in principle valid, perturbation series for the wrong Green's functions in terms of the wrong coupling constant with the wrong masses terms held fixed into a systematic perturbation expansion for the right Green's functions in terms of the right coupling constant with the right masses held fixed. Any questions? Now we're almost ready. Almost ready means we'll get to it next week. We are almost ready to begin doing computations to see how the formalism works out. But there are 2 questions which we have to consider first. One is by considering this term as a counter term as part of the interaction, we have introduced a derivative interaction, and we've set up our whole formalism for non-derivative interactions. So there's an awkward but necessary technical point we have to investigate. What is the effect of this derivative interaction? What does it do to the Feynman rules? We've got a vertex in our theory that corresponds to a term in the Lagrangian that has derivatives in it, and that will give us all sorts of that sort of thing, as I've emphasized in earlier lectures, and in principle able to give us all sorts of problems and changes the definition of the pies to no longer d naught phi, but becomes d naught phi, and everything gets totally messed up. So we've got to worry about that derivative interaction. That's a trivial problem, which I'll take care of this lecture. Then the second problem which confronts us is that our renormalization conditions are not well set up to be systematically applied in perturbation theory. For example, they are not phrased in terms of Green's functions. This condition doesn't have to do with Green's functions. This thing that m squared is the physical mass of the particle is not phrased in terms of Green's functions. And if we really want to build a smoothly oiled machine where we can just grind out doing calculations without any thought, or better yet, write a computer program that will do it for us, and since our whole Feynman apparatus is set up for computing Green functions, we would like to phrase the renormalization conditions in terms of certain properties of certain Green functions. So we'd like to say that the sum of all Feynman graphs of a certain kind vanish, and that's equivalent to the equation that gives us the scale of the field. Or equals 1 or something. We haven't got that yet. So these are the 2 tasks that confront us that we have to counter before we can automate this scheme in order to just set it out and just be able to compute without thought. Okay, so if there are any questions about why these are the 2 tasks, please ask them now. Otherwise, I will begin the discussion of the first one, the problem of derivative interactions. Now, the general formalism for derivative interactions is an incredible combinatoric mess. Things really get awful. The coupling constant enters into the definition of the canonical momentum. The interaction Hamiltonian has canonical momentum in it, and therefore you have all sorts of problems about what the time-ordered product of a string of interaction Hamiltonians and a string of fields means, because they no longer commute at equal times. And things are just too horrible to contemplate, at least at this stage of our development. After we've been hardened our heads karate fashion by banging them on some difficult problems, we will return to the question of derivative interactions and straighten everything out for them. But really, I don't want to get into that whole complicated subject to handle such a simple derivative interaction as this sort. After all, it's not really much of an interaction. It's just a term quadratic in the fields. Therefore, what I will do is guess the Feynman rule appropriate to this derivative interaction, and then try and show you that my guess is okay by doing some simple examples that will, when I'm done, obviously be generalizable to this theory and show us that it gives the desired result. The first simple theory I will look at will be the simplest of all theories. A free scalar field. This doesn't have a derivative interaction. Indeed, it doesn't have any interaction at all. But we can fake matters up so it looks like it has a derivative interaction by rescaling, introducing a new variable, phi prime, by the following transformation. Of course, Z3 is not, phi prime is not a renormalized field in the standard sense here. Perhaps I should not call this constant Z3. Phi is already perfectly adequate.
Take Apple. A lot of time. Apple lived on the Apple II. Not sexy. It was getting money and money. And the big goal was going to the next stage, and it did not, for a long time, it did not work. And in the process, of course, there was the growth. Because there was a certain to them, they will not consider me as competitors, they will consider me as friends, colleagues, because they know we fought the same fight. Sometimes we are competitors on some paper, whatever, but my work as this other guy to continue. My work was done in collaboration with this other guy, with this other institution, and so on.